Before you completely give up on your specific person, watch this video. This video showed up for you right now because at this exact point, you needed to hear this, and I needed to say it to you. Maybe you're standing right at the edge of letting go. Maybe you've been through a deeply painful breakup. Maybe there's a third person involved, or maybe you're going through a separation or divorce. This video is here to help you see what you actually need to see right now. To give you direction, that's why this channel exists. And no, you are not alone in this process. Stay here, watch the video. Welcome. On this channel, I help you understand why you keep returning to the same emotional place, why no matter what you do, you end up feeling the same way again, and how to break that cycle. Even though it may feel like life brought you here to find a new answer, sometimes what you're looking for isn't a new answer at all. The real issue is this: while your attention has been focused outward for so long, the place you actually need to look is somewhere you've never directed it before. And that's exactly what we're going to do in this video. We're going to take your attention off the outside, off the waiting, off the signs, off the texts you're hoping to receive, and turn it toward what's really happening inside you. Not at the surface level, at the root. Because the moment your focus shifts, the space life opens. For you shifts as well. The possibilities available to you change. And that change moves you into an entirely different reality. So I want you to know this very clearly. Before you give up on the kind of love that reflects you, that doesn't shrink you, that feels safe, grounded, and whole inside your body. Before you give up on your belief that you can draw that kind of love into your life. Before you give up on this connection, no matter how impossible everything looks right now, because of the state you're currently in, I'm going to tell you something very directly. Everything you want to experience, real love, emotional safety, being met and chosen, a connection where you can be fully yourself, is not only possible, the likelihood of it happening is much higher than you think. And yes, that includes building a real, healthy, balanced love with your specific person, where neither of you is forcing, chasing, or shrinking, but supporting each other naturally in a way that finally feels right. Most of the time, we look for the reason behind what we're experiencing somewhere outside of ourselves. They're not taking a step. They're not doing this. They should have done that. Why are they still acting this way? Why haven't they changed? But this is where you need to pause and change direction, because the real issue, no matter what you think it is actually energy. Your mind may immediately push back. No, the problem is that they're not texting. No, the problem is that the relationship is clearly falling apart. No, it's the breakdown of a marriage, the divorce process, and everything it left behind. That phase where it feels like there is no us anymore. The third parties that got involved, and so on. But all of these are simply different faces of the same thing. They're all energy, just showing up in different forms, at different frequencies. What life brings you may look random from the outside, but it is actually a reflection of the vibrational field you are constantly emitting. And here's what I want you to notice right now. Every thought you think creates an electrical signal inside your body and sends it outward into the universe. every emotion you carry creates a magnetic field. When these two come together, whether you're aware of it or not, they form a frequency field around you. A field that aligns you with people, situations, timelines, and possibilities that match the energy you're holding. It determines what comes closer to you and what stays away. Over time, your thoughts and emotions merge and stabilize into an inner state, the state you spend most of your day in. And that state, your internal setting, is what keeps recreating the same reality in your life again and again, including how your specific person responds, whether a text comes or doesn't come, and how close or distant the connection feels. So even if you're going through a divorce right now, even if you're in the middle of a heavy, painful separation, or even if it looks like there's a third person or outside influence involved, that doesn't automatically mean there's another relationship. Sometimes it's a family bond, the influence of a friend, or a pattern carried from the past that hasn't been released yet. None of these are as absolute or unbreakable as the limits your current external reality seems to impose. In fact, most of the time, the situations that look massive from the outside are actually very small when placed next to the infinite possibilities of creation and the limitless nature of the universe. And in some cases, yes, this may sound strange, they're not obstacles at all. They're gifts. Because these exact circumstances create space for something entirely different. Not a connection with your specific person that's trying to repair the past or carry forward an old dynamic that no longer matches the energy you're in, but a relationship built from the ground up, rooted in truth, shaped not by the need for love, but by awareness of your own inner value and the love that naturally grows from that place. A connection where neither of you is driven by pressure, obligation, or fear, where freedom isn't lost, where no one feels trapped, where both people can stand inside the relationship without shrinking, tightening, or abandoning themselves, and can truly recognize the value of what they're part of. I want you to see this very clearly. The first step is not trying to convince them. The first step is not chasing. The first step is not trying to complete yourself through them out of fear that you'll be incomplete without them. The first step is stopping the constant outward pull of your attention and making a clear decision to turn it inward, permanently. Which means this: instead of placing them at the center of your life and pouring your energy into what they are or aren't doing, whether they text, whether they don't, whether they move closer or pull away, you bring yourself back to the center. You become the reference point again. So when you strip everything down, the core of this entire situation comes to one thing: changing the energetic state you're living in. For most of your day, from which inner frequency are you actually engaging with life? Because that inner setting determines whether you're drawing in what's aligned with you, what feels good to you, the experiences you desire, or whether you're unknowingly pushing them away. Are you in a lack frequency? Do you constantly feel like something should be happening, but isn't? Do you carry a sense of scarcity inside you? A belief that love, attention, and value are limited, that they don't come easily, that they're hard to access? Are you in fear? Fear of losing? Fear of ending up alone? Fear that you'll never find the same love, the same closeness again? Or are you living in expectation? Something should happen. They should take a step. Time will show me something. All of these states, even though they may look innocent from the outside, are states that keep you contracted. They narrow your energy. They hold you down. And from these states, a new relationship does not emerge. Not with the person you love, not with a specific person who can truly choose you, stand beside you, and deserve a place in your life. Here's what's really happening. Most of the time, often without even realizing it, you're sending the same message to the universe, to your subconscious, and to your specific person. A message that says, "There's something missing in me. There's uncertainty here. I don't feel love flowing toward me." And that message doesn't stay locked inside your mind. Life reflects it back to you. The other person reflects it back to you. So whatever you're carrying, whatever you're broadcasting, that's exactly what you end up attracting. Now let's set that aside for a moment and consider a different possibility. Imagine waking up tomorrow morning, but this time you notice something has settled inside you. A decision that feels clear, unquestionable. I'm no longer the person who waits. I'm no longer the version of me that lives in doubt. I'm moving into the frequency where love is already present in my life. I'm stepping into the state where I feel whole, not lacking. I'm choosing the version of me who isn't trying to attract my specific person, isn't putting in effort, isn't controlling, checking, or forcing anything, because that need isn't even part of my inner world anymore. I'm choosing the version of me whose natural presence, posture, and energy already radiate love, and therefore naturally draw real love into my life. And here's the critical turning point. This is not pretending. It's not acting as if. It's not wearing a mask. And it's definitely not fooling yourself. This is something science explains. This is how physics works. When the frequency you emit changes, the reality you interact with changes as well. Something begins to change when you start to notice this. As fear, doubt, anxiety, and that constant state of alertness slowly give way to clarity, trust, and your own inner strength, an alignment forms inside you. This is when the heart and the mind come into the same frequency, a real heart-mind alignment. One is no longer pulling while the other is holding back. Both move together at the same time, on the same frequency, saying yes to the same life and the same reality you want to live. As this alignment deepens, you don't just become aligned within yourself, you also align with universal energy, with the natural flow of life. Because the universe doesn't decide what's right or wrong. It doesn't weigh what you deserve. It doesn't choose who you should love. The only thing the universe does is respond to the vibration you're emitting by returning what matches it. That's why alignment isn't a reward or a punishment. It's not a moral judgment. It's not a question of worthiness. It's simply this. Whatever state you're carrying inside, life responds to you in the same language. And this is the state that draws your specific person and the relationship you truly deserve toward you. This state brings them closer, but not to repair the past. At a certain point, something shifts. and this is what gets expressed. I don't want to fix the old relationship. I want to build something new with you on a different frequency, more honest, more real. A connection we can both stand inside without tension, without shrinking. When your inner dynamics change, when you take ownership of your way of thinking, when you stop setting the rhythm of your life based on other people's steps and start setting it from your own inner alignment. When you transform the inner reflexes that kept you in the background and shift the way you position yourself with the awareness of I am the primary reference point, something very important happens. At this point, your presence itself begins to generate attraction. Attraction stops being something you do and becomes something you are. Moments that look like coincidences start to appear in your life. Timing falls perfectly into place. Doors begin to open on their own. Possibilities you never noticed before become clearly visible. And the things that felt impossible yesterday start to feel accessible today, plausible, realistic, and eventually they become experiences you are actually living. So before you even consider letting go of that bond, that love you deserve to live and share with the person you care about, I'm going to ask you for something small, but very significant. Now, without trying to fix anything, without trying to figure anything out, create a moment where you can simply pause and exist as yourself. If possible, be in a space where your attention can remain undisturbed. And gently close your eyes. Now, place your hands over your heart. Take a slow, deep breath in through your nose and release it through your mouth without rushing, softly and fully. Now, invite the feeling of love, but not the longing for love, the state of being loved. Feel yourself being loved by the universe. Notice the state where love is already present inside you. Feel yourself being loved by all the visible and invisible connections in your life. And feel yourself being loved by your specific person as well, naturally, without effort, without trying. You are loved. Like a sudden warmth rising inside you, a gentle smile forming on your face, your body softening, your heart beating a little faster, a sense of relief that makes you exhale and think, "Oh, it's okay." Your face brightens on its own. A pure, light, clear wave of happiness moves through your body. Exactly as you are deeply and unconditionally loved. Now, gently move into the state of being inside the reality you desire. Focus on how this reality feels to you. Notice what changes in you when you are already living the life you want. What kind of life is this? What kind of relationship is this? Are you living together? Sharing the same space? The same daily rhythm? Maybe you're married. Maybe you're in a place where being us no longer needs to be explained. So what's different this time? In this relationship, How do you feel inside yourself? How do you speak to each other? How do you communicate? How do you look at one another? When you're with them, what does your body tell you? How do you perceive them? Do you soften when you're with them? Do you feel safe? Now ask yourself, can you imagine this? Even if the image isn't perfectly clear, can you feel that it's possible? Can you notice that this feels good to you? Not just as a picture, but as a state. A state where your breath fills your chest, your shoulders release, your feet feel grounded. Like a scene, but far beyond something you're watching from the outside. A scene you're standing inside, where you hear the sounds around you, where your body naturally aligns with the moment. Like an instant, but not one that fades and disappears. You're here right now, with the rhythm of your heart, the flow of your breath, inside that world. Can you notice the feeling of love? The love flowing toward you? Not tightening you, not pressuring you, but expanding you, opening your chest, bringing a sense of ease. Go ahead. Let that feeling spread through your body. Feel love. Feel connection. Feel freedom. Without forcing, without chasing. Just by noticing that it's already there. Your subconscious mind does not distinguish between a moment you've lived and a scene you're vividly experiencing right now. To it, the effect is the same. From the perspective of the subconscious mind, there is no difference between something imagined and something that has actually been lived. When your hands rest over your heart, your breath deepens, and you begin to feel the life you desire. Not just see it, but experience it. This is where a powerful threshold opens. You could call it a timeline alignment, a convergence of possibilities into a single point. What this means is simple. The old timeline, the one that kept you in a loop where everything felt like it was going wrong, where the same patterns kept repeating, begins to lose its hold. And you step into a different reality, a new flow, one where both of you can stand comfortably, feel safe, and experience a deep mutual love. This is the way an already existing possibility from the infinite field of potential is brought into your current timeline. By allowing your body to feel the emotions of its fulfilled state right now. Let's be very clear about one thing. You are not trying to create a person. You are not forcing anyone to become something. You are building a state of being. And that state creates a magnetic field that draws people towards you without you doing anything at all. Because attraction is not effort. It is the natural result of alignment. The person on your mind is simply one of the many possible expressions that love can take in your life. So the issue is not the person. The essence, the energy, the core is love itself. When you move into that state of love, not as someone searching for it, but as someone who carries it, radiates it, and lives as its natural expression. And when that signal is not present one day and gone the next, but steady, coherent, and genuine, the quantum field has no alternative. It reorganizes matter, people, events, and encounters to align with your new frequency. Simply because you are no longer chasing love from a place of lack, you are embodying it. So stop occupying your mind with the question, should I give up on them? Because that was never the right question. There are different questions that actually matter. What you need to ask yourself is this: am I ready to let go of the old version of me? Am I ready to release the limiting beliefs and inner blocks that have kept me stuck in the same place for years? Am I ready to stop living in fear, in constant alertness, in that quiet tension of, what if it doesn't happen? And most importantly, am I ready to allow a kind of love that is deeper than anything I've known before, more real than I've ever allowed myself to experience? A love that doesn't shrink me, but expands me. A love where I can stand fully as myself and still be chosen. When you shift the axis you're standing on internally, the response life gives you realigns on that same axis. No one is excluded from this shift. And yes, your specific person is included. They feel it. They are touched by it. They are part of this change. And they begin to look at you from a very different place. Not casually, not unconsciously, but from a deeper level, with more respect, and with a much stronger awareness of what losing you would actually mean. So here's what I want you to do. Every night before you fall asleep, make this your closing moment, just for yourself. Not as something you have to do, but as a way of gently ending the day. When the day is behind you, when your mind has started to loosen its grip, when your body is already leaning towards sleep, open this video. If you use headphones, put them on. Before sleep, let your first point of contact be yourself again. Do this work. Let the weight of the day go, the thoughts still circling your mind, the conversations that happened, and the ones that never did. Lie down. You don't need to fix anything anymore. You don't need to make anything happen. You're simply moving towards sleep from the state you choose to be in. And that state stays with you throughout the night. Your subconscious records this feeling as real. You wake up with a different inner setting. That's where the real shift happens, while you're asleep. Quietly, naturally. And when you look at yourself again, in the mirror, in your posture, in your energy, you'll notice something. How much better you feel standing exactly where you are now. Don't think of this as something you do once and then move on from. Think of it as something you gently place into your life. At first, you might notice that after the meditation, you carry this frequency only for a short while. Then slowly, it starts to spill into your day. It stays a little longer. It feels more natural. And at some point, you realize something important. You no longer have to hold this state deliberately. Because it's becoming your normal. That's where the real break happens. The moment you can carry this new frequency in your body without needing any proof, life begins to give you proof. At that point, you're no longer checking. You're no longer wondering, did it work? You're not waiting, but you notice things. A text comes in, a call happens, a step is taken, a sense of closeness begins to form. And most importantly, none of this happens because you forced it. None of it happens because you chased. It happens because you changed. Because your inner setting shifted. and life naturally started flowing toward this new state. Before this video ends, I know some of you are thinking, I'm not calling them. I'm not texting. I'm not checking their social media. I'm not doing anything. And yes, from the outside, you might truly not be doing anything. But if inside, you're still thinking, when will it happen? If you're still anxious, if there's still a tightness in your body, still waiting for a sign, there's something subtle but very important happening. That's still chasing, because chasing isn't just an action, it's a mental position. Your body might be still, your hands might be calm, your phone might be on silent, but if your mind is still there, if your heart is still looking outward, if there's still a sense that something needs to happen, that is also chasing, quieter, less visible, but just as binding. That's why the issue is never what you're doing. It's the state you're doing it from. Transformation doesn't begin by trying to do nothing on the outside. It begins when there is nothing left inside that is tightening, gripping, or pulling. So make this practice a space you return to for yourself each day. I can say this with complete certainty. As time passes, you'll start to notice how good this state feels for you, and how day by day, it quietly begins to soften things, clarify things, and improve your life in ways you didn't force. If this video made you feel even a little better, you can support the channel by liking it and sharing your experience in the comments. And if you'd like to continue this journey together with similar videos, you're welcome to subscribe and turn on notifications. Thank you for being here. Take good care of yourself. I'm really glad you are.